What's up, y'all? Sunday chat, Bomber and Moomer. What you gotta say, girl? Right here in the pond. Rooster Cogburns over there. Hey, man. She wanted to say hey. All right, y'all. Got the chickens put up. They enjoyed a day of being outside. I think the wife put them out around 1 o'clock. So it's getting Sunday evening. I usually have the Sunday chat done by now, or done it days before, but we've had a busy week. So we're gonna walk out here and do a corn report. So this stuff, the combination of the rain and sunshine, has this stuff freaking huge. So yeah, it was it made the head high by 4th of July. There, Jimmy, look at that. Now, not all of it. There are some little dips or whatever, but directly across from the old ranch in Bomber's garage, look good. Looks real nice. So that's the corn report. I hope y'all enjoy the corn reports on the videos, even though sometimes they have nothing to do with it. And I am by no means a farmer or a cowboy, just a redneck. All right, y'all, back in the garage. Let me turn on my little old accent lights. Makes my silver beard pop. So, doing Wednesday's videos about done. It is a conglomeration of stuff that I've been working on around here. So I did a few things in the shop, pimping it out. I have been working on a couple other projects. The finish mower on the Kubota. Been working on that. Got to flip it upside down and take the blades off because they're going to have to be replaced. Went down. I'm not a person to go see fireworks. Just not my thing to go down with a bunch of people. But we went to the in-laws have a place down on the river. Watched the fireworks display, which, I mean, it was cool. I hadn't seen, last time I saw fireworks was like in Jack's Beach. I was more about in Jack's Beach, the air show that they put on that was on the freaking Atlantic Ocean. That was freaking cool. Air shows always get me. And then it was good, but there were so many boats in the river. And my favorite part, and I'll add that at the end of the video, is all of the boats cruising out of there, the ones that were trying to get to the launch and stuff like that. It was like a boat parade coming out of there. So if you're still watching, I'm going to bring Sunday chats back to where I originally was, where I just get and chat with y'all and talk to you. Every once in a while, we'll show you stuff I'm working on that's not going to go on one of my regular videos, but more of the chatting. So had to go get our lawnmower that we have borrowed from a friend. It's a vintage wheel horse. Wheel horses are just a beast. While we were there, picked up a thing of bar oil for the old chainsaw. And then you can get larger ones. I've got a gallon of the 2-stroke stuff, but this here was on sale. And I like taking these because I have a 2-gallon one for the weed eater and for the chainsaw. And we will take, I take these and refill them. But I like the small ones. I can just dump those instead of having to try to measure off one of these big gallon ones. Even though that is bar oil, not 2-stroke oil like this is. So, a couple of things and I finally got a frame for this. I'm pretty sure got that from Roger Rosebush, the Autorama. I love that color scheme. I love the graphics on it. So as much as I want to put it in the office and media room, I'm like, man, I need to put that out here because it's pretty freaking cool. And I also realized it is July freaking 7th. So I knew it was Sunday. I didn't know it was already this. I'm off because there were fireworks all Friday night and Saturday night. So I was still thinking it was closer to the 4th. And tomorrow will be the 8th because today's the 7th. Having a little bit of Sunday deal. I was out of cigars. Have to go buy, though Timothy's and get some. Oh, one thing I was going to talk about is like Louisiana stuff up here because I get asked a lot. Not so much in Florida or in the South do they do that. Anytime I've been in the Midwest, I've been to Wisconsin and Michigan here, and folks ask, "Oh, where are you from?" They assume because me and I like wearing my Stetsons. And I never wore them on the beach or other places because you just kind of looked silly on the beach wearing one. That's where I wear my shelter hat. But if folks say, "Oh, you're from Louisiana," and they automatically assume like, "Oh, New Orleans." I'm like, "No, y'all ain't from New Orleans. I'm from Shreveport. We're closer to 157 miles to Dallas. New Orleans is a long ways off." Then they assume I'm either Cajun, Creole, Acadian, or whatever. But what I call myself, and I even laugh because I'm watching, the old Duck Commanders, Duck Dynasty back in the day. They would always say rednecks. I've always just said, "Hey, man, we're rednecks." Now, where my people are from, on my mama's side, daddy's people are all from Texas. Mama's side is up from northwest West Louisiana, right at the Arkansas line. And it's like hill country. But people go like, "Oh, hillbilly." And I'm like, man, the hills in Louisiana are just, they ain't even, like, I think, what, a plus 120 feet or something? Don't quote me on that or whatever. But where we lived, where I was at like plus 38 feet above sea level. And then we go, "Oh, this old hill country up here." So it ain't hills as folks like, when I think of hillbillies, I think of like Arkansas, Tennessee, parts of Georgia, Kentucky, where there's actual hills and such. But there ain't none of those there. Then things that I notice up here a lot, which is hard for me to get used to, is the folks that are constantly calling Coke pop. And that's popped up several times here late where they'll go, what do y'all call, Cokes? Or what do y'all call pops? I'm like, Cokes. So we'd say like, back home, "Hey, you want a Coke?" And then they'd go, "Yeah." Then you go, "What kind?" Then they'd tell you like, Dr. Pepper, Sprite, whatever, what kind of Cokes you got. But Coke is a generalization of all of the sugar waters and such. So that is one that kind of gets me up here. And then a few just other things that I say is different from them. Like in the grocery stores, we call them buggies back home. So I know when the first time Lindsay and I think went grocery shopping was down at a Publix in Jack's Beach. And I was like, "Hey, we need to grab a buggy." And she's like, "What?" She says, "You mean a grocery cart?" And I'm like, "No, I mean a grocery buggy." I know, to me, a cart is something that you like, a mule pool, a mule cart or something. I don't know, but we always call them buggies. So there's just a couple of little differences like that. And just, I don't know why I got into the Louisiana thing. We were talking about the big three of hot sauces, like Tabasco, Louisiana hot sauce, and Crystal the other day. And most people are, I know a lot of folks that are Louisiana folks, a lot of people that are Crystal folks. And they're always like, "Oh, Tabasco is so national." But it's from Avery Island down there. And why I got a soft spot in my heart for Tabasco is when I was in the Marine Corps, they had the little tiny bottles of Tabasco in the MREs. And, you pop open one of them MREs and you see that Tabasco, it'd warm my heart because it reminded me of home. I'm like, so sometimes I would save a couple of those, or other dudes wouldn't want them, other Marines wouldn't want them. I'm like, "Hey, man, pass that Tabasco down home." So I'd have me a little collection of them, and also keep that Tabasco on me. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this, Louisiana hot sauce, man, if you make you a big old bowl of popcorn and then you take the Louisiana hot sauce and you just pepper it all over, mix it, pepper it all over it, it is amazing. And then I keep Crystal because every time, I like to mix it up. But there's some of those you have to be careful. Like one of the things up here is like trying to get andouille. And I was at they've got all these Polish butcher shops, and I was like, hey man, I want to get me some andouille. Y'all got andouille? And he's like, oh man, we just call it Cajun sausage because people up here don't know what andouille is. I'm like, all right man, let me get 2 of those because it didn't look right. Well, I got home, cooked them things up, and I sliced them open. I was like, man, this ain't right. Well, what it was, it's Polish sausage with freaking Cajun seasoning. And the Cajun seasoning's probably like from Virginia or something weird like that. You see a lot of those kind of lies. And also the folks up here will be like, oh, it's authentic Cajun food. So I talked to a dude the other day. He was telling me about like, oh, we do Cajun. I'm like, oh man, I said, where are you from? This is at the local brewery. I ain't gonna name his business, but I had some friends from New Orleans. Went out there and I'm like, oh, it's Louisiana stuff. So I'm like, where are you from? He's like, oh, I'm from Saginaw. And I'm like, all right, man. I go, where'd you learn Cajun stuff? He was like, oh, down in Mississippi and Pensacola. Sure you did, brother. So anyway, Lindsay was like, I'm starving. I can get it. If you don't want to eat it, you don't have to. Said the same as soon as she took a bite of the jambalaya, she's like, you ain't going to like this. I'm like, why not? Took a bite, and they put up here, it is all around. It is like a, what's that thing called we just had? An epidemic of putting Italian tomato paste and stuff and Italian seasons in jambalaya. It's a downright shame. It's horrible. It's sin. I don't care for it. Oh, also I forgot to do this. But anyway, I'm having to learn some of these folks up here, some of this stuff. And we also did, I did red beans and rice for the little party. And we had ordered andouille. And the andouille it's good. It's from down in Shreveport or whatever where we get it. So I'll get the old Dutch oven, and I'll take the Dutch oven, I'll cook that. I'll throw some lard in it. Beef tallow, excuse me. So do some beef tallow. Then I will cook up and brown and cook the andouille, pull it out. I'll throw some onions and garlic chopped up in there, cook it down, pull it out. And then I start with cooking the rice on the side. Of course, I've been soaking the red beans. And up here, everyone gets confused that like kidneys is red beans. I'm like, kidney beans and red beans is 2 different things. I'd actually Google it to show Lindsay the right ones to order because we kept getting, the kidney beans. So got the red beans, you're cooking them up, doing that, have all that flavor from that stuff in the burner and that's kind of, burnt in the bottom of the Dutch oven. And I don't add no beef broth, anything like that. I put a couple of seasonings in there, but I like to use the natural stuff. Cook those beans for about an hour and a half and then add the andouille, those onions. Then I've chopped up fresh celery, put that in there, the garlic and everything, and just, about every 5 or 10 minutes on low, pop that old top off, stir it around, have that rice. Once it's about almost done, dump that rice in there, stir. I throw a little Tony Chachere's in there and just process. And instead of doing flour in it, I will take the wooden spatula I have and you mash the beans as they soften against the side. And those mashed beans make it thick. And it was a hit. Had 2 pounds of beans, did up just a pound of andouille and all that other stuff. And we got back and there was just a little glass, we get the Tupperware glass or the glass Tupperware, whatever it is, and put that in there. So I was glad that everyone did it. Oh, I forgot to do this. It's like Louisiana talk and chicken, all that good stuff tonight. So What else for? Oh, let me go. I have to grab something that's over there. I ain't gonna just pause it and walk off because someone had said that was irritating. Yo, I'm back. Two things. The old brother-in-law got me a little holster for some Tabasco, and I just love the Tabasco. I want to get back to that, and it's woodland camo, which is cool. So about this is probably 10 or 12 years ago. A dude I met through Go Ruck named Joe Guile was up in Philly, and man, he sent me this Streamlight ProTac 1L. This takes, it takes those other little batteries. I can't remember which ones those are, but I use the, where's the little thing? You can make it strobe. But anyway, I use the old double A's in it because I'll buy a big pack of those. Whatever's on sale, I think they're all the same. Plus, I think they can make batteries that'll last way longer than that they do. But man, I have dropped this, abused it, carried it in my pocket. I keep it by my little at night, or I'll have a little light to show it people or whatever, you know. Get out there, check the chickens, the ducks, everything. But I was just thinking the other day about how old this thing is and how well it is done. And you can see I beat up a lot of the black on this thing, and got down to the aluminum. But I also like it, man. This thing, you could, you know, hit a orange with it and mash it all up. All right, I think that's about all I got for the Sunday chat. Oh, I'm gonna walk away because I did forget this. So do watch Wednesday coming up when I took the regular scheduled video. When I took that grain cart apart. Oh, y'all don't know that. It's on that video. Or maybe I have shown that before. But I got that on video. But I saved all of this wood and did a special little project in here with it that I'm stoked about. So, hey, hope all y'all were safe. The 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever your 4th of July celebration was. Hope y'all was careful with the, you know, fireworks and all that goodness there. You know, anyone that does like the corn report, let me know. Because what I'm actually going to try to do is when that farmer comes up with that combine to harvest that corn, I'm going to try to catch a ride in it and do a little video of that. Because, man, I got to ride in it while he was harvesting peas one night last year. Seeing dude out there way late. And I get that. I make community coffee from Louisiana with chicory in it. Y'all know what chicory is. Google it. Get you some of that if you like strong black coffee. But I do put a touch of cream in it. So I told Lindsay, I'm like, hey, man, I'm going to run him to, you know, 2 coffees. Because there's a haul truck and then the combine out there. But it was just him. He was like doing both. So I went out there, brought him the coffee. He's like, hey, man, ever rode in a combine? I'm like, no. So I set up in the little jumper seat, which was super freaking comfortable. And I was also amazed at how much technology is in those combines. Man, it's pretty freaking cool. So, like it a lot. So anyway, let me know if you like the corn reports and we'll keep doing those. Y'all have a good Sunday evening. If I get to post this evening, I'm going to go up and finish watching NASCAR up in Chicago, which is a wet freaking street course of a mess. All right, bye, y'all. It's a boat taxi boats, all trying to leave. This is what I like to see. It's fancy people with fancy boats.
With cabins.
But, yeah, with cabins. They got cabins. But you know what I don't like is all these nasty police out here harassing these good citizens with fancy boats.